rolled out of the sign shop. This is a Fleet Image in Ayr, Ontario, and I thought I would show you my new signs, my new look. And I don't know what, oh, he was waiting for me to leave probably. That guy was installing my signs, but no, lots of room. But my truck, I went in there was another truck in there and I barely fit, you know. My truck is so long. Actually, it's not that long. It's like 254-inch wheelbase. It's only 10 inches longer than my Mac, right? But I thought I would do like a quick tour inside the cab, you know, like so. Basically, because I've been learning about all the gauges, because to me it's all new, right? So I still don't know what to do with this clock over here, right? That used to be over here. But anyway, so there's so many lights. Like my first confusion was about these lights. Okay, that's the sleeper. Like when you click that on, and then there's a separate switch inside the sleeper. And these two, and then actually the manual said the lights are here. But I look here, I think it's supposed to be there, but the manual was for 660, no, 680, like the other model, right? The one that usually pulls dry vans, right? And I guess in that truck it's like that, but on my truck, so there's nothing here. So that's my rooftop light, my flashing light. And yeah, just like somebody mentioned on my Facebook, they are the old school, they're not the LED lights. So I'm gonna keep them until the bulbs burn out, and I'll replace them with the LED lights. But one cool thing about these is that they don't blind you, and they extremely they offer extreme like visibility because they're so big, you know, like this thing rotates, you cannot miss it, you know. And also now I like that I have two of them, because before I remember I had some trouble at when I had a dual one in the middle. You know, some like Quebec, they require two separate lights, and I remember the company I leased to, the previous one, they were saying, oh, we're not sure that it's going to be legal in Quebec. So I think it's always a good idea to have two separate lights, you know, for heavy haul, like one on each side, so this way they are visible, you're not going to run into trouble. And like I said, I'm going to replace them with LED lights because the brackets are there, like the plate is there, but that's the switch that I'm going to be using, right? So these are the floodlights in the back, and I think it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so that's my well. Like I can flip this and you can see there's light, right? And it's like two positions, you know. Not too sure about these ones yet. And then the main control for the dash, see, like if I turn this, it gives me all the options over there. And for now I have odometer, like in digital number, right? So over here I don't like very much, I'm not a big fan of the fuel gauge over here. Like it's the very bottom, so when I'm driving I cannot see it, you know, because this covers it well. And this is how I like the steering wheel to be kind of like level with my, almost level with my chin, you know. But everything else, like I did not have this on the Mac for some reason. Like I can see, you know, my voltage, my battery. So if something is wrong, right away I can see the voltage, right? So that's my oil pressure, my coolant temperature. Everything is in Fahrenheit, of course, even though I'm in Canada. So the only thing that's in kilometers, you see my speedometer. The big numbers are kilometers, the small numbers are miles, which still is handy for when you drive in US. So that's my brake application gauge, right? And shows pressure on the brake pedal, but right now it's not going to work because my ignition is off. And speaking about the ignition key, just as with Mac, I don't know why they do this, but you see, like my radio works, right? Well, the clock is working, and I think even my fan works. Yeah, I see even my fan works. I don't want it to work. So that's okay, we'll come to that in a second. But basically, when the key is in this position, I cannot open the window, you know. That's one thing I don't like. But over here, everything is motorized. You see, like there's a heater for the mirror. This chooses left mirror or right mirror, and this little toggle switch over here, I can move the mirrors. I already adjusted them the way I like it, but the bottom one is manual. The bottom one is manual. All right, and that's the windows up and down, so left one and the right window, right? And that's my locks. And so this truck has a remote, right? So which is very cool, you know, so I don't have to use the key. It's kind of like in a car. And so yeah, so this is that's the brake. This is the Jake brake, and now I know exactly the type of the brake I have, because I have a booklet, and it's a trade name, Jake brake, and actually they even give me a sticker, but I don't want to, you know, I already have too many stickers on the truck, but there's a sticker that I can put if I decide to, that showing that it's a genuine Jake brake, you know. So now if somebody asks me like, what kind of engine brake do you have, it's a Jake brake, and that's it. And that's, so if I put it like this, that's one position, 2, 3, and then this symbol lights up over here in green. So if you forget that you have it on, you'll see the green sign. Actually, I started the truck this morning, I drove it to make space for my car in front of the trailer, and I see, what is that, like this thing? I thought it was some kind of an arrow, but then I saw it was green. So anyway, so that's my gauges, right? So I mean gauges, my air pressure on the suspension. You see red is 1, green is 2, like secondary, and this is my DEF, my you know, diesel exhaust fluid tank. So that's my DEF, that's my fuel. Just I wish they would put this fuel, maybe they can swap them, I don't know. But on the Mac, this whole thing was a single piece, where I know on the International they can actually swap them, you know. Like I would put fuel probably, I don't know, maybe like right above the DEF, you know, somewhere here or here, because you need to keep track of your fuel, right? I don't want all of a sudden hear some beeping, hey, you're low on fuel. And over here, so that one took me a second to find, right? Because on the Mac, this was over here under the wheel, and of course that thing always was making a whole bunch of racket, you know. Like over here, it's just a switch, you know, your 4-way flashes, very easy, and I can reach it with my hand. And these ones over here, took me a couple of trips outside of the truck at night yesterday to figure out which one was, why I have 2 switches like this. Like normally you have one, which is your parking lights, like your clearance lights, and then there's low beams, high beams, right? This truck for some reason has, this is the parking lights or clearance lights, and then this is the actual headlights, and then I use this. You see, now it's high beams, right? So these are the lights, these are parking lights, and then turns out this is the marker lights on the roof. It's only one position, and these are the lights over here, like where the sun visor is supposed to be. That's only these lights come on. So I don't know why they want a separate switch, you know. And speaking about sun visor, I don't like them. I don't think they serve any purpose whatsoever, because you know, I'm sitting inside the truck. That sun visor is way over there, so it's not blocking any sun. Like that's why you have these, you know. So I don't like them. I like the clean look of this truck. It's fully all like very smooth, you know. I might save some fuel. I know that sun visor, it does affect your fuel mileage, you know. Now this one is empty. Okay, so here we have oil temperature. Oh, actually, wait a second, I have a second fuel gauge. I forgot about this one. Ultra low sulfur diesel fuel 2. Okay, I'm gonna double check about that one. But if this one duplicates that one, that'll be really cool. Then I don't need to worry about, because I can see this one clearly. Okay, then we have a rear drive axle temperature. That's a trailer brake application, whereas this one was on the truck or total, and this one is trailer brake. Okay, this is front drive axle temperature, and this is very important. And some cheap trucks, you know, with a cheap spec, they don't give you this. You need to know your boost, your turbo boost, because that's your fuel economy, you know. Speaking about fuel economy, this thing has a cool feature over here. It has these two green dots, basically at 1200 and at 1400 RPM, and that's where they wanted to keep the RPM for best fuel economy, you know. And I was just checking my speed driving on the freeway for the first time, and I saw that at 1400 I was around 96, 97 kilometers an hour, so pretty much 60 miles an hour. That's what I remember I was doing on the Mac at when I had 391, because that's what this is. It's 410 with big tires, but it's the same as 391 with regular tires. So 1400 should be 60 miles an hour, and 1450 should be my favorite 62.15, which is 100 kilometers an hour, which is actually the speed limit on most freeways here in Ontario and in Quebec, you know. And because it's a big engine, big truck, I don't want to drive it too fast. And so here we have the radio. That's my cruise control. Again, very easy to, of course these should have been on the steering wheel, but you see the sales guy did not mention this, and I was not aware that it's optional to have controls on the steering wheel. I would love to have these on the steering wheel. So basically this is the cruise, no, actually, wait a second. Oh, that's my fan. That's the fan for the radiator. This is the cruise control, on, off, and then I click set, and then I can use these to increase and decrease the RPM. So, and all these are, that's my traction control. As you can see, this is spare, so that's manual regeneration. And this is the pusher. That's my pusher axle up and down. This is my suspension air, so I can, when I need to make the truck lower to hook up to the trailer, so that's how I drop the suspension. I think on the Mac it was somewhere in the same area. And all these are like, you know, I'll have to figure these out, like differential locks and stuff like that, you know. You see here you lock both axles. Here you lock axle 1, axle 2, so this is like the full, what they call full locks, because I can lock each axle independently and then I can lock all of them together. And this can be helpful on snow and, you know, when it's very slippery. But I read this one, I think maximum speed is like 40 miles an hour, 60 kilometers an hour, 64. And that's my PTO, right? Just push in the clutch, click this one, and I have pressure in the hoses. And this, of course, you can see the picture here, that's the fifth wheel slider. So I click this and the locks disengage, and when I have no load on the fifth wheel, I can basically, when you drop your trailer, right, I showed this before, I can move back and forward with the truck, keeping the trailer on the ground, and I can, you know, play with the weight. And of course this will be my gauge. I gotta install the trailer part in here, so that's where I will see all my weights in pounds. And over here, of course, we have a transmission temperature. That's the pressure on my pusher axle. That's the, but you see I cannot adjust it. Like the knob for adjusting the pressure is under the door outside, so I can only drop it. No, wait a second, I can where is it? Here, I can drop it and lift it, but I cannot adjust the pressure. I have to get outside to adjust the pressure. And that's my fuel filter. Very nice gauge, I always wanted to have it. That shows you a fuel filter restriction, tells you when to change your fuel filter. And that's the fifth wheel suspension. That's what most trucks have in PSI, which is not accurate, so instead I'll be using this. And also have an air filter restriction. Again, very nice. It will tell me, you see, like red is over there. Once the needle starts hitting the red, that means it's, you know, time to replace the air filter. And here we have the radio, exactly the same type I had in the Mac. It has a Bluetooth, so I can hook up my, if I want to, I can use my phone, but the speaker, where's the speaker? Oh, it's probably this one. The speaker, it's too far. I know in the Mac it did not work too well. I had to shout, you know, in order to maybe it's over here, because that looks like a little speaker too. But I prefer to use you know, my headset headset, the Blue Parrot, works much better, so I just hook it up to my cell phone. But basically this thing has I can use the truck as a speakerphone, so to speak. But the best part is that I was worried about this, but because it's exactly the same, except this says Kenworth, but it also has satellite radio. But the best part is this little port. I really need this port because I don't want to buy the 12-volt little adapter. So this way I can charge my tablet. So the tablet will be installed somewhere here. And by the way, check this out. I got see, like this space, like these guys are very smart. They give you all this space, at least you can put a pen in there, you know, little pad. Very nice. So over here I'm going to install my border transponder, CBP transponder over here, so that I can cross the border. And what else we have here? Yeah, we do have 12-volt adapter over here, but again, they're not very reliable, you know, like they start overheating, then fuses go. Like, I find this works pretty well. It's very low voltage, works perfect for the for the tablet, like, because tablet is like a low power thing. And then of course you see it even has a headphone jack. So, but I don't think it's a good idea to drive and listen with headphones. And these are pretty complicated again, but I can use full auto. So I can set the temperature in Fahrenheit, and then if I click auto, this thing will light up. But if I don't want to use air conditioning, let's say in winter, I can keep it in auto, but then I click this center over here and it disables air conditioning, because in winter, right, I just need warmth, I don't need cold. This is the fan, so you just, that's part, now it's at 0. That's basically, in most trucks it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Over here it's a dial, so that's maximum. See, this is 0, and then temperature, and then your direction, like where you want the air to go. And then if I push this in, that activates the air, the heater opens the vents in the sleeper, you know. Let's say if I'm idling and I'm sitting in the sleeper and I want the air to go there, I can hook it up there. And over here we have a CB radio, that's my horn, and of course there's a bunch of well, I don't want to go in there, but let me see, because now I have a new policy. So I even wanted to draw a red line in here. No shoes over there, you know, like I was taught by the Mac that, you know, once you start going there in shoes and dirty boots, that's it. So, but for now we'll make an exception. Like until now I've been taking my shoes off as soon as I go into the sleeper. But one thing I wanted to mention is the floor. Now check out how everything is made in here. This is very nice, right? It's all bolted in here. And check out, the floor is actually flat. There's no ribs, like for some reason they made on the Mac. So it's very tough to remove dirt and sweep the floor when it has ribs, you know. Like this one is all flat. It was super easy to clean. I love this. But what I wanted to show you, let me just step in here. I wanted to show you the amount of storage I have over here. Now check this out. I have this, right? I have this over here. That's where I keep my business cards now. I got my goggles, right? I got this, my, you know, like Quick card and stuff. Then I got this. That's where I put my ELD. I still have to hook it up. And one guy sent me a little this ring, but I got a, I don't remember how big is that suction cup. Actually, it's not even. See, I have to find a place where it's even. But I bought bigger ones like this, you know, so they can stick in here somewhere. Anyway, so we're gonna mount it later on, because for now I'm in Canada. I don't need the ELD. I'm just using the E-log on my tablet. But you know, very nice seats. This is not leather. I saved a bunch of money. I said I don't like what's the, you cannot, if you don't know, you cannot tell that it's artificial, you know. It's very soft, very nice, and of course there's curtains everywhere. And so this table folds back in there. I got storage over here, I got storage over here, This was supposed to be like a TV, right? And there's 2 shelves in here, so now I keep my clothes in there, whereas before in the Mac I didn't have space, and so I had to just use a bag, you know. I kept my clothes in the bag behind the door, behind the seat, and you see how much space I have now here. And then all these are, again, more storage. This, you know. Put some paperwork in here for now, but I'm gonna find, and there's more stuff in there. There's pockets in here. It's like amazing, you know. And then of course it's all lots of light because of these big windows, and I can open them. There's another thing in here, the voltage. The second bunk, there's that cable. You pull that cable and the lock opens. And I slept the first night in that one, except that it's a bit narrow, you know. So this is much wider. I like this is better. But yeah, very nice, very super comfortable sleeper. And that's my Aspar heater over there. And once you activate the heater on the dash and the sleeper, that's where you adjust the temperature, you know. And it has its own radio here, like the own control. That's the light. And I'm still working on these ones. I don't know, I think this one you can open the window, so lots of bulbs in here, you know, and they look like the old LED. So I'm happy, it's understatement, you know. This is the dream come true, you know, in terms of a truck. So, and somewhere here they have a sensor. They were saying don't block the sensor. I think it's this one. That's the kind of like daylight sunshine sensor. When you put it on auto, the air conditioning, it uses this sensor to adjust the temperature, you know, depending on how much light goes through the windshield. Okay, so now finally, last thing I wanted to show you before we start driving is the signs. And I was asking people on my Facebook page about advice about signs, and one guy created a really cool sign, kind of like I had in mind, you know, this image of like my name, my company name with chain. Like I wanted to incorporate like chains and binders in there, you know, like how, let's say if you have a crane company, right, you would put a crane somewhere there, or some kind of cables with a big hook, right? And so this guy was very creative. He made my S in the SERGEI into a hook, and then D as in DRATCHEV he made into a D-ring, you know, and he hooked them together, and then he put a chain around, and then he put a small binder in there. It's like, it looked very cool, except I was not sure how much it would cost, you know, and now I'm running low on ammo, as they say in the army. But the second, my major concern was that, yeah, I know this guy, he's a friend, and I asked him, I said, can I use this? And he said, yeah, sure, and he even sent me the files. The problem is that I won't have time if this guy down the road decides that it's a copyrighted piece of art. You know, I didn't want to run that risk, like, no offense if this guy is watching, but you know, now my payments will be pretty high for the first 6 months. I don't have time to stop. I have to do trucking. I don't have time to engage in any legal disputes, you know. So I created my own simple sign. I brought it over here, and then the guy, they took a picture of the truck, and so they were able to show me on the computer exactly how the signs will look. And based on that, I removed that. I said, yeah, let's not do that, like what I wanted to do originally. So now I'm gonna show you what it is, and just again, it's nothing fancy, just basic stuff, okay, just so I can start trucking and make money. Okay, are you guys ready? Let's go. First of all, I attached you know, here, that's all my numbers are here, my tire size, tire pressure, you know, chassis number, model, scale weight. Oh, weight is here, yeah, but it's in kilograms, but I don't know how accurate it is, but okay, let me just grab my key. I don't want to step out without a key. This is my new look. Okay. So unit number, all the letters are in the same typeface. It's called what is it? It's called Concert 1. I just wanted to have a typeface that has this heavy, you know, heavy hole kind of like image about it, you know. And so originally I wanted the door sign to be red on white. You know, and when we tried that, it just didn't look good. Like that white looked kind of like too loud, and so I said, yeah, let's just do it, you know, old school, because it's a kind of special typeface, you know, looks a bit unusual. And so we put they attached everything, my stickers, my unit number, see my name, and then over here we have my CBR number, US DOT number, VIN number, and over here I put my driver logbook sign. And then the cool thing we did in the back, I really like, you know, because this helps me attract new fans to the channel, and that heavyhaultv.ca is hooked up to my YouTube channel, you know. So instead of giving people my my YouTube username and it's very long string of, you know, characters, I just put this in, right? See this truck in action, and I think it'll look cool, you know, just basic with white on black. You cannot go wrong with the classic look, you know. And then later on, I talked to them, later on I might add maybe like a decal, you know, like a line running across. I might do that, but for now that's what I have. Just simple, modest, but, you know, very clearly visible, you know. And that was the whole point. The whole point was to identify myself, you know, tell people what I do for a living without being too flashy or too, you know, too loud in colors. And one thing I gotta do, as I was driving on the freeway, I noticed the truck, like all new trucks are like this, you know, it's always a good idea to do alignment. And I already booked the alignment for the next week. I'm gonna just check, because it's not pulling to one side, but it doesn't want to stay straight, you know, it just follows the road a bit too much. I need I think it's caster, to increase caster so the truck does not react too fast when let's say the road tilts a little bit, right? So the truck just follows the road, doesn't want to stay, you know, like you're supposed to, you know, take your hand for a second, like 2 seconds, the truck should stay put, you know. So I'm gonna fix that. I know there's a very cool alignment shop in this area near Kitchener. I used them before with the Mac, and that guy is a magician, and he says now they got a new new machine. So he says it's like, to just check alignment it's like 65 bucks Canadian, but if you wanna adjust it, he said it's somewhere, just like last time, it was around $200 to $300. And last thing, that's what I want to do today. When I woke up this morning, I was, you know, trying to anticipate what I'm gonna do with hooking up to the trailer. For now I'm not hooking up yet because I need to move my stuff. I'm gonna go to my friend's place and pick up all the stuff that I moved out of Mac. So that's the final things I gotta move, because right now I only have a sleeping bag in here, right? But then one potential big problem is that I look at the hoses, like these guys, the PTO shop that installed the PTO, and those hoses, you know, they look pretty short, you know. And so now I'm going back to my yard, and I'm gonna open these. I'm gonna open, like they have zip ties in there. I'm gonna cut the zip ties and see how far, and I'm gonna back to the trailer as close as possible, and I'm gonna see how far those hoses reach, because I need to be able to I need 1 foot beyond the fifth wheel, because that's where on the trailer, that's where the connectors are for the hoses, right? They're not right at the fifth wheel where the kingpin is. They're 1 foot beyond. So, but anyway, I already talked to the guy. The guy says, yeah, try it. If it's too short, just come over here and we'll swap them, right? Because there was supposed, like, the guy actually came over to look at the trailer, and I'm surprised that it didn't occur to him, because I'm alone. You know, the truck is pretty long, right? But that's not a big deal. It's just that probably take him, like, I don't know, 10 minutes. They're not going to charge me anything, because they were supposed to do it right, you know, first time. And the PTO install was included in the price of the truck. So it's all paid by Kenworth, by Packard Financial. But that's one thing I really want to do now. And then Tuesday, yeah, tomorrow I'll be installing my transponder. I'll be installing the ELD, and I want to grease all my binders because I have that spray. And Tuesday I have, so alignment, I have an appointment for Thursday, next Thursday. And Tuesday I'm going back to Kenworth with the trailer, and that's why now I need to fix the hoses on the PTO. Tuesday I'm going back to Kenworth, and they agreed to hook up this thing, you know, to finish the install. So this thing shows the weights for everything. But then, of course, that should not take them long, because I didn't want to, you know, I did not know if the shop has to open the dash to connect the trailer parts, and I don't want a non-Kenworth shop to touch the dash, you know. And so I called them. I said, guys, I'll pay you, because now it's my job, right? My truck. I'll pay you if you could just, you know, finish the installation, and then of course I have to go one last time to the scale, pay their super overinflated price of $17 Canadian to scale, but I need to know my empty weight, full of fuel. I gotta get full tanks of fuel, and then I know I'm good, because that's gonna be my maximum empty weight. But for now, yeah, I'm gonna check the hoses and then take the rest of the day off, and that's it. So let me just show you a little bit of driving, how I'm getting on the freeway. But I hope you guys enjoyed the little tour. So that's the dash, that's the sleeper, and these are my new signs. Yeah, I'm wearing my new jacket. As the sales guy was joking, he says the jacket was $225,000. The truck was free. Yeah, I want to try these. Those are my plates over there. I did my exercises today. Just a brief, you know, like 15-20 minutes. All right. Okay, so that's the sound we hear. Okay, let's hear it again. Now compare that to the Mac. You know, as we say in Russian, небо и земля, sky and ground, like huge difference. So nice on the Kenworth, so annoying, super annoying on the Mac. So no more Mac, okay? Everything's cool. Let's have some water. Oh, I wish I gotta do my I gotta bring my glasses here. switch on my flashing lights, kind of like to say goodbye to them, you know, and kind of like say thank you. See the dots, and so that's what comments say. Just try to keep the RPM needle as close to these dots as possible for best fuel economy. And the signal is also very soft. No, this clutch, I figured out the clutch. Before I had some trouble getting the gear out of gear, because this clutch, the sales guy told me that it's a different clutch than what I'm used to. It's an air assisted clutch. And basically, you just have to play with it a little bit, you know. If I cannot get the shifter out, I just release the clutch a little bit and boom, and smoothly goes out. You don't have to, because before first day, I remember I was fighting with it. I couldn't get the shifter out of gear, you know. But now I know, so just play a little bit with the clutch and all is good. Primary. Oh, I think one is for the left tank, one is for the right tank. I'm gonna ask the sales guy, because I didn't see it in the manual. That's it, the cruise control is on. We have 1380 RPM, doing 95 kilometers an hour. See, so that would give me 97, which is 60 miles per hour at 1400. Just as I thought. So that's the temperature. And I just like, you know, I know some people would ask stupid questions about gloves, but I just like the feel. It kind of like feels like racing gloves, you know. But these are the gloves I use with when I exercise. Well, that's it. I guess I just wanted to show you guys how I get on the freeway and the driving a little bit. And it was snowing this morning. It's still +2 Celsius. I have a thermometer on the dash there. And we'll continue next time. Probably when I install the when I finish the install of the right way gauge. And I'll show you guys how cool it looks when it shows me like 3 lines, actually 4 lines of text, and my weights for the steer axle, drives, the trailer, and then the gross weight, either in pounds or kilograms. But I need pounds because I go to US all the time, right? So this was a quick update. So new signs, new stickers, just a few more days till I get going. I just hope maybe I can book something for next Friday once I finish the axle alignment. So thanks for watching again. Stay tuned, more to come. Kenworth Heavy will continue.